Now, the greatest radio shows of all time.
Suspense.
The Shadow Node.
Washington calling David Harding, counter-spy.
Classic radio theater.
The Great Gildersleeve.
Fibber McGee and Molly.
Dragnet. Gunsmoke.
The Lone Ranger.
Now, step back into a time machine with your host, Wyatt Cox.
Good evening, friends of the Inner Sanctum.
This hour, an episode of a Harry Allen Tower syndicated series, The Adventures of the Scarlet-Pimpernel, starring English stage and screen star Marius Goring. He made 4 films with Powell and Pressburger, Conductor 71, A Matter of Life and Death, and The Red Shoes. He made a number of these back in the 50s. This episode of The Adventures of Scarlet Pimpernel, entitled A Stolen Necklace, originally broadcast April 29, 1953, but before the program aired on NBC, there was a special Korean War bulletin.
The National Broadcasting Company delays the start of this program to bring you a special news bulletin. From NBC News, the 9th day of the prisoner exchange is getting underway at Panmunjom, Korea. Here are the names of the American prisoners released so far tonight. PFC Donald J. Riley, Toledo, Ohio. PFC Ralph C. Presby, St. Elmo, Illinois. Corporal Robert L. McGreevy, Cumberland, Maryland. PFC Lucian Brinagar, Dayton, Ohio. PFC Matthew Bowling, Dewdrop, Kentucky. PFC Bobby H. Coleman, Elkhorn City, Kentucky. Sergeant Richard L. Cones, Cedar Rapids, Iowa. PFC William G. Kuntz, U Enterprise, Pennsylvania. Sergeant Perry F. Woodley, Jasper, Alabama. Sergeant Eugene Powers, Emlyn, Kentucky. Stay tuned to your NBC station for the later news.
Starring Marius Goring as Sir Percy Blakeney. Among the many French aristocrats who had fled from the Terror to London was one Marcel Bouvelet. He was an old man now, but in his time he had been a person of great importance, a general in the army of Louis XVI. Tony Dewhurst and I had met him several times, but only in the most casual way, and it was with some surprise that we received a pressing invitation to visit him one evening. Out of curiosity, we went. Most retired generals are noted for their bluntness, and before we had been there 5 minutes, we discovered Bouvelet was no exception.
Cards on the table. You are members of the League of the Scarlet Pimpernel, are you not?
Listen to him, Tenny. It's really absurd. For the time being, let us say we don't deny it.
I am no splitter of straws, gentlemen, no juggler of words. If you do not deny, then you must admit.
All right, we admit our identity.
Excellent. Now that we understand each other, we can get down to business. But first, I want you to meet my man, Laurent. Will you be so good as to ring that bell, please?
Yes, sir.
I must tell you, Laurent has been with me 30 years. He was first my personal servant, then the major domo of my chateau in the Loire, and now, well, I do not know exactly what you would call him.
Your right-hand man, perhaps?
Oh, my right-hand man, my left-hand man, my everything man.
You wish to see me, General?
Because I wish to see you. Why else should I ring? These are the two, Laurent, the two I told you of, Lord Anthony Dewhurst and Sir Percy Blakeney.
You're very humble and obedient servant, gentlemen.
Sit down, Laurent.
But, General...
30 years and still you have not learned to obey an order without question. Sit down, I say.
Yes, General.
That is better. Now, gentlemen, first, you must know that when I fled from the Terror, I was obliged to leave behind many of my most cherished and valuable possessions.
Many others had to do the same,
Oh, yes. Among the things I dared not break was a diamond necklace which belonged to my wife.
We should explain, monsieur, that the General's wife, heaven rest her soul, has been dead now these 20 years.
Yes, Laurent, I will do all the explaining.
Yes, General.
It was a very valuable necklace, a gift from the king himself. To live in England is expensive for a person like me. An English gentleman who knows of this necklace has offered me for it 100,000 pounds.
Well, it must be valuable.
So much money would settle all my debts and assure my comfort in my last years. For the sake of sentiment, I would prefer not to sell, but as your proverb has it, beggars cannot be choosers. The one difficulty, of course,
is that you haven't got the necklace.
Exactly. To the best of my knowledge, it still lies hidden behind a secret panel in my bedroom of the chateau, where I secreted it when I fled.
Who occupies your chateau now?
Oh, that I cannot say. However, you will begin to understand now why I have sent for you.
You want us to recover this necklace for you?
Precisely. It needs men of your stamp, men of courage and skill.
I am sorry, General. The answer is no.
No?
You obviously misunderstand the purpose of the League. Our concern is with the saving of human lives, not of baubles.
Is there no way I can persuade you? None at all?
Well, I must say the idea of recovering a necklace from under the very noses of our friends of the Commune has its intriguing side, eh, Tenny?
And in a sense, we would be saving life, the General's life.
Well, do you think we might strike a bargain?
Oh, why not? I'm sick and tired of all the social fripperies of London. I'd welcome almost anything that offers a little excitement and action.
My dear Tenny, you echo my own sentiments precisely. When do you wish us to start, General?
Then you agree?
On one condition.
You know you only have to name it.
For ourselves, we wish for no payment. But as you may guess, the League is always in need of funds. When we have delivered you the necklace and you have sold it, perhaps you may care to make a small donation.
Nothing would give me greater happiness.
Then it's a bargain.
Gentlemen, I am an old man with no facility for words, and so if my gratitude seems inadequately sincere...
Save your thanks till we've done the job. We may fail, you know.
I refuse to admit the possibility of failure. Particularly as you will have Laurent to help you.
Laurent?
But of course the whole thing would be impossible without him. He will be your reconnaissance unit. He will spy out the land, acquaint himself with the disposition of the enemy forces, report back to you, and you will then plan your attack accordingly.
Thank you. But if you'll forgive me saying it, Laurent isn't a young man anymore.
Monsieur, I'm only 52. Silence, Laurent!
Yes, General.
And this little adventure may prove to be not only arduous, but dangerous.
I assure you, gentlemen, to Laurent, a little danger is the spice of life.
I will be happy to accompany you, monsieur.
And so it was arranged. Bouvelet's chateau was a few miles outside Tours, about 150 miles inland from the port of Saint-Nazaire. The three of us, Tony, Laurent, and myself, journeyed by a small schooner to Saint-Nazaire, and there Laurent left us and went on ahead, after we'd arranged a rendezvous with him 3 evenings later at a village inn close to the chateau. We reached the inn at the appointed time, engaged a room, and within half an hour, there was a knock at the door.
Come in. Good evening, monsieur. I saw you arrive, but I thought it wise to wait a short time.
Sensible precaution. Well, Laurent, have you managed to learn anything yet?
Yes, monsieur. I've learned a great deal.
Oh, splendid.
The chateau is occupied now by a certain citizen Flamand.
Oh, who's he?
Oh, he's the mayor and head of the civil administration of Tours. A gross and cruel man, so I'm told. Much hated by the people.
Probably corrupt, too.
I have heard that said also.
They're built to a pattern, these advocates of liberty, equality, and fraternity. Well, who else is at the chateau? I dare say there's a Madame Flamand, a brood of little Flamands.
No, he's célibataire, what you call a bachelor. Good, that might make things a little easier. It's simple enough to fool an adult, but children sometimes have an uncanny knack of perception.
Well, now the question is, what's our best way of getting into the chateau?
If you will pardon me, monsieur, I think I have exactly the solution you want. You have? Splendid.
Well, let's hear it, Laurent.
Today I chanced to be in conversation with one of the servants of the chateau. This Flamand is a difficult man. People dislike to work for him, and so he's always short of staff. At the moment, I'm told he's in need of a footman and a valet.
It sounds promising. Hey, Tenny?
You should be a perfect footman.
I'm sure you'd make an excellent valet.
Shall I lay out the black velvet or the brown, sir? And which wig would you prefer tonight? Oh, shoes, sir. Silver buckles or the gold?
Oh, to the manor born. Well, Laurent, you seem to have taken care of it all very nicely. Thank you. Assuming we do get to the chateau, the next point is, how do we locate the necklace? And how do we recover it?
As for locating it, sir, I can be of some aid there, too.
Good Lord.
In fact, I've already drawn for you a plan of the chateau.
What?
Here it is.
Laurent, you're indispensable.
For many years with the general, I've learned the value of a properly planned campaign. Now, here's the main floor. The various rooms I have marked. However, they are not important. The important room is this one here on the first floor. The second to the left from the head of the stairs. That is Flamand's bedroom.
And presumably that is where the necklace is hidden?
Correct, monsieur. The walls are wood paneling. In the third panel to the right of the fireplace, in the bottom left-hand corner, there is a hidden spring. If you press this panel, it will open. And there we'll find the necklace? Let us hope so, indeed.
Oh, sounds very easy, I must say. I have an uncomfortable feeling it may be just a little too easy. However, we can but try. Next morning, in disguise as residents of Tours, we presented ourselves before Citizen Lambert.
So, you are looking for work, huh?
Yes, sir.
What are your names?
I am Pierre Dupré, sir.
And I am Jacques Renoir.
Papers?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Mm-hmm. Seems to be in order. Previous experience?
Oh, sir, 2 years as footman with Monsieur Vidocq of Angers.
Vidocq? Never heard of him.
Oh, he had very good connections with the government, sir. Very rich. A loyal citizen of the Republic.
I should hope so. Why did you leave? Dismissed for incompetence, I dare say.
Oh, no, sir. Monsieur Vidocq died last month. The widow had no place for me.
Oh. And you, fellow? What's your experience?
I was Monsieur Vidocq's valet for 4 years, sir.
Well, this man Vidocq seems to have been in a very comfortable circumstances.
Oh, he was, sir. Great friends with Monsieur Chauvelin.
Well,
very generous, too, with his money, sir.
Don't expect generosity from me. I don't pamper my servants. I expect them to work.
Yes, sir.
Does that mean we are engaged, sir?
Well, I do not imagine for a moment either of you is going to be any good. Servants never are these days. However, you'll be better than no one, I suppose. You will report for duty at 7 o'clock tomorrow morning.
That evening, we had arranged to see Laurent again at the inn. But it was after midnight when he arrived. His manner told us at once that something had gone wrong.
Monsieur, I'm sorry, but I must get away from here tonight, at once.
Oh, what's happened, Laurent?
I've been recognized.
Recognized?
Yes, and as you know, I was here for a number of years with General. There are many people in the village who would remember me. Until this evening, I was able to keep away from them. And then the most diabolical mischance occurred.
What?
As I was coming towards the inn, taking care I should not be seen, a man stepped out of a doorway almost into my arms, as it were.
A man you knew?
Yes, an old enemy of mine, a certain Sergeant Leroux. A scoundrel, if ever there was one.
He realized who you were?
At once, monsieur. I tried to think of some plausible explanation for my presence, but it was obvious he was suspicious.
Well, could this Leroux have any possible idea why you're here? Or that you're connected with us?
I don't see how he could.
Well, in that case, we're in no greater danger than we were. After all, we came here for a necklace, so we shall stay till we get it.
April 29th, 1953, The Adventures of the Scarlet Pimpernel on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox.
Hi, this is Kyle Horvath with the White Pine County Tourism and Recreation Board. If you want to get away from the big cities and get back to nature this summer, give us a call at 775-289-3720 or visit us online at elinevada.net. There's so much to do and see I can't mention it in 30 seconds, but check out our website and you'll see what Nevada is really all about. elinevada.net or follow us on Facebook or Instagram. Give us a call at 775-289-3720 or visit us online at elinevada.net.
Let's see, if something costs less, but people are happier with it, that sounds like something to look into, and that's MediShare. Maybe you've heard switching to MediShare to pay for healthcare can save the typical family $500 a month, and that's huge, but it's also true that people are way more satisfied after making the switch, too. The customer satisfaction rate for MediShare is double that of the typical health insurance plan. Double. MediShare works. It's been around for more than a quarter century, and members have shared more than $3 billion of each other's bills. People love having telehealth and a huge nationwide PPO network. So, yeah, you can save a ton and like it better. Imagine being happy with how you're taking care of your health care. So if you're self-employed or part of the gig economy, or you just want a plan you're happy with, you can call right now and get a price within 2 minutes. A very, very smart use of 2 minutes. Here's the number you need. 833-34-BIBLE. That's 833-34-BIBLE. 833-34-BIBLE.
The Scarlet Pimpernel, first novel in a series of historical fiction by Hungarian-born British novelist Baron M. Orszky. And it was very well known and very well received there. It opened at the New England New Theatre in London's West End on January 5th, 1905. It became a favorite of British audiences, played more than 2,000 performances, one of the most popular shows staged in London. And quite frankly, I've heard it mentioned satirically, but I have never delved into it much at all. But here we go. An episode of The Adventures of Scarlet Pimpernel, produced by Harry Alan Towers in London under his Towers of London brand, and acquired for a run on NBC. This episode, April 29th, 1953, Stolen Necklace.
Next morning, Tony and I began our duties at the chateau. Obviously, as Lambert's valet, Tony had a much better chance than myself of getting the necklace. Indeed, when we were able to meet about noon, I fully expected no.
The trouble is, I can't get at the panel.
Why not?
Well, Lombard must have moved all the furniture around when he took possession. It's blocked by the head of the bed.
Couldn't you have moved the bed?
Oh, my dear fellow, it's a huge affair in carved wood with a great canopy. It must weigh half a ton. I did my best to shift it, but it wouldn't move an inch.
But could two of us move it?
Oh, just about, perhaps.
Well, go to the scullery and borrow a broom. Say your master's bedroom is dusty and you want to sweep it out.
Yes?
Yes, well, then you start to sweep. Be very thorough about it. Move everything in the room. Chests, tables, chairs, the lot. Sweep behind them, over them, through them, under them, as though you're giving the place a real spring cleaning. When you try to move the bed, you can't. About this time, I shall just be passing outside the door, and you call me to help you.
Oh, that seems simple enough.
Well, off you go. I'll give you 10 minutes, and then find some excuse to go upstairs.
Right.
It was perfectly simple, bound to succeed. But no. I sauntered upstairs. I passed Lambert's bedroom. Tony called me in for help. I joined him. We just about broken our backs, carting the bed clear from the wall when the door opened.
What is going on in here? You're a footman. You're not supposed to be in this part of the house.
I'm very, very sorry. I'm sure, sir.
It's not Pierre's fault, sir. I asked him to help me.
Help you do what?
Shift the bed, sir. It's too heavy for me alone.
Why do you want to shift it?
To sweep underneath it, sir.
Nonsense. What do you think this is, a lady's boudoir?
I like to keep things clean, sir. Monsieur Vidocq used to insist on me sweeping beneath his bed at least once a week.
Oh, yes, of course.
Of course, it was a much smaller one than this. Much lighter. A Flemish designer, Felty, or...
No. Scandinavian.
I do not care if it was Chinese. I'm not interested in Monsieur Vidocq's bed.
Oh, no, sir.
Nor do I see the slightest necessity for sweeping under this one.
You'd be amazed how the dust gathers.
Oh, no, they never will, they dust with you two. Anyhow, I have another job for you. I have some documents to be delivered to the clerk of the Côte d'Or. Here they are. You have to take them to him at once.
Yes.
And do not tarry on the way.
No, sir.
As for you, Dupré, remember you're a footman.
Yes.
Your duties are downstairs.
Yes, sir.
Do not let me see you in this part of the house again.
No, sir.
A couple of idle good for nothing.
Yes, sir.
I knew it as soon as I clapped eyes on you. I'll be very surprised if either of you last a week. Off you go now.
Yes, sir.
Go on, get out of here.
Oh, yes, sir. Certainly, sir. It was after dark when Tony returned from tour. Lambert was entertaining guests, and I was kept busy, first at the table and later replenishing their glasses as they sat at cards. 11 o'clock had struck before Tony and I were able to meet, and I realized at once that all was not well.
We've got to find that necklace and get out of here as soon as possible.
What's the hurry?
Oh, Lombard suspects.
Oh, nonsense. How could he?
Well, on the way into tour, I took the liberty of opening the letters I was to deliver. One of them was an instruction to the clerk of the courts to make inquiries in Angers regarding our supposed employer, Monsieur Vidocq.
Oh.
Of course, he won't get a reply for a day or so, but when he does...
That'll be properly in the fire, yes. Yes, we must act tonight. Yes, but when? It's no good waiting till the guests have gone and Lambert's gone to bed.
Oh, that'd be fateful.
Well, it must be now.
Dupré, where the devil are you?
I'm here, sir. Yes, sir.
Bring another bottle of wine.
Yes, sir. At once, sir. Go straight up to the bedroom and wait for me there. I'll join you as soon as I possibly can.
And when we've got the necklace?
We'll wait till the house has settled down to sleep. Then we'll creep out and down to the village, get hold of some horses, put as many miles between us and this place as we possibly can. With 6 hours start and decent mounts, they'll never catch us this side of Dieppe. It was another half hour before I judged it safe to leave Lambert and his guests. Making sure I was unseen, I hurried upstairs and into the room where Tony was waiting.
Oh, I began to think you were never coming.
I'm sorry I couldn't get it to work.
Directly out from the wall by its feet.
It's too heavy.
Well, I'll take this side, you take the other.
Oh, all right, let's try it.
Right, ready?
Yes.
A good steady heave.
I hope Lambert doesn't hear that noise.
Well, we'll have to risk it. Once again.
Heave.
Oh, that should be enough, I think.
Good.
Can you get to the panel?
I think so. I'll get my breath back. Third to the right of the fireplace. Yes. Well, that must be this one. Bottom left-hand corner. Oh, hit my head. Got it, I think. Look, it's opening. And if I'm not mistaken, the necklace is in this box. Yes, by Jove. Look at it, Tony. Oh, it's beautiful. Well, I'm no judge, but I should imagine this would be worth a king's ransom. Yeah, you'd better take it, Tony.
No, you hold on to it.
Right. Now, close the panel again. Right. That's got it. Now replace the bed. And if you drop it on my foot, I'll murder you. When I give the word, push.
What is going on in here?
Why,
Answer me, you pair of knaves. What sort of devilment?
Nicely judged, Tony.
I won't keep him quiet for long, I'm afraid. Let's get away from here.
We sauntered down the stairs as casually as we could. There was no time now to walk to the village for horses. We knew several of the guests had come mounted, so we hurried to the stables.
What do you fellows want out here?
Oh, Captain Frasinet and Citizen Beauregard are ready to leave, but they want their horses saddled.
Does it take two of you to tell me that?
We thought that you might like some help.
Kind-hearted all of a sudden, aren't you?
Oh, no law against doing a good turn, is there? Is this the captain's saddle?
You leave them saddles alone. I am in charge of the saddles. It'll do my own job in my own time. See, you get back and tell Captain what's his name and Citizen who's it. They can have their nags in 5 minutes.
Sorry, but we can't wait that long. Oh. Bless my soul, Tony. You're becoming quite adept at that sort of thing. Practice makes perfect, they say. I wonder who saddles who. Never mind about that, you fool. Grab the first one you see. We're not out of here in 2 minutes. We're done for. Well, I'll take this. You take that. Whoa, there, boy. Whoa. Take it easy. Cursed guts, Shep. Stiff as a ball. Listen, Lombard must have come too. I'll wager he's screaming for our blood. Are you ready, Blakeney? Just about. So am I. Good. Let's go. For a few seconds, as bullets whistled around us, it was touch and go. But we managed to get clear. In another minute or so, we were out of the chateau grounds and on the road to Tours. Through the town, we galloped at full stretch. Then beyond it, we turned north on the main road to Le Mans, our ultimate destination, Dieppe, 200 miles away. A short distance outside Tours, we stopped for a breather. Oh, I think we've given him the slip. I'd not gamble on it. If I know Lombard, he's a pretty tenacious customer. Yes, at least he's no idea who we were, or why we were at the chateau, or which way we were likely to be heading. I wouldn't gamble on that either. Lombard's no fool. He's bound to have heard rumors of that necklace from time to time. By now, he's probably put two and two together. That's all right. Listen. I don't hear anything. Yes, I do, by Jove. Horses. At least a half dozen of them. And coming this way. The chase is on, Tony. I have an idea we're going to have a very interesting trip to Dieppe.
And the conclusion of the Scarlet Pimpernel, April 29th, 1953, comes up next on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox.
No offense, but are you a little fat when you look in the mirror? How would you like to learn the secrets to lose 3 to 5 pounds a week easily without joining the gym or going through any crazy diets? It's called Body Sculpt by Med Diet. For the last 2 decades, we've been helping people just like you that have pounds they want to shed. We've helped millions of people lose thousands and thousands of pounds over the years. And now it's your turn. Learn the secrets of how to lose weight with one simple phone call. You'll see an amazing difference in a matter of days. Don't believe us? We'll offer you a money-back guarantee. If you're ready to start losing weight right now, call right now to learn more about your risk-free order to Body Sculpt.
Call for your risk-free offer. 800-738-5332. 800-738-5332. 800-738-5332. That's 800-738-5332.
Are you in bad pain? You know what I mean. Your knees hurt. Your shoulder hurts. Your elbow and back are constantly killing you. And I'm sure you've tried every pain pill or cream available at the drugstore. Am I right? Well, here's something you haven't tried. Pain Magic. Pain Magic is not available at any drugstore. The only place you can get it is by calling the special toll-free number I'm about to give you.
And to make things even better, call right now and find out about our buy one, get one free offer. We're so confident it'll work for you that we offer a free bottle with your purchase. No prescription required.
Call now to learn how you can get Pain Magic and get rid of your pain. Remember, your results may vary.
800-492-8164. 800-492-8164. 800-492-8164. That's 800-492-8164.
Now on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox, the conclusion of the Scarlet Pimpernel, April 29th, 1953.
With frequent changes of mounts, and with only 1 or 2 brief rests, we reached Dieppe late the following night. Our pursuers had pressed closely all the way. There was no time to lose. We went straight to Jean Colbert's cottage. A boat, Jean! We must have a boat for England at once.
Oh, bien, monsieur. I have one ready for you in half an hour.
That's no good. We need it in 10 minutes. Less, if it's possible.
No. The store's to be attended to, sir.
Never mind about that. What we want is a boat.
It is a pity you weren't here 4 hours ago, sir. I sent off a friend of yours then, a man who called himself Laurent.
I assure you, Jean, if we could have been here 4 hours ago, we would have been. Anyhow, it's good to know Laurent got away safely.
He has ridden quite a distance, he told me. He was very tired.
Never mind about that, Jean. For heaven's sake, get us the boat.
Bien, monsieur. All right, sir. You come with me, huh?
It was a black night with the bobbing of Jean Colbert's lantern as he prepared the boat for us. Then, just as he had called for us to embark, it happened. A thud of running footsteps. Black shapes emerging suddenly from the darkness.
Look out, Percy.
Hands groped at me. Fists rained on me from every direction. I fought back desperately, punching with all my might whenever a face loomed out of the blackness. Then, something crashed on my skull. There was an explosion inside my head. When I came to, I was lying in a small boat. I shook my head, looked about me. Tony was seated a few feet away from me, at the tiller. Dawn was breaking.
Well, how do you feel, old chap?
Oh, terrible.
Bathe your face in some seawater. It'll help.
Where are we?
4 hours out from Dieppe.
4 hours? What a crack on my head that must have been.
Yes, I was terrified for a moment you were dead.
Oh, what happened?
Well, 2 or 3 of Jean's friends heard the fight. Soon after you'd been knocked out, they joined in on our side. Lombard and company took to their heels.
You're sure it was Lombard?
I had the pleasure of breaking his jaw. I hope.
Tony, the necklace. It's gone.
Yes, I know. I searched through your clothes.
So Lombard did know.
Well, apparently he guessed. That's why he chased us all this way.
Do you think we should go back for it?
Oh, we wouldn't have a chance in a million.
No, I suppose you're right. Well, what are we going to tell Bouvelet?
Well, the truth, of course.
That we failed?
Yes.
I'm not going to look forward to that.
Well, neither am I, but it must be done, I'm afraid.
If this wind holds, we shall be in London by tomorrow night. So there you are, General. That's the whole story. We did our best, but it wasn't quite good enough.
We're both desperately sorry, sir.
Sorry? What for?
For having let you down, for having failed.
But that is where you are wrong, my friends. You did not fail at all. Oh, it was certainly what you call a near thing, but you did exactly what I hoped and knew you would do.
I don't understand.
To an old soldier, it is simple. Your task was to draw off the main attack and allow the assault troops to strike unimpeded.
What?
You fulfilled that task admirably.
I'm afraid I don't follow.
Oh, nor I.
Ah, there are many covetous and dishonest people in the world, gentlemen. So when you have a valuable necklace, you take the precaution, if you are wise, to have made also a paste imitation. This I did at the time the necklace was presented to my wife. When I was forced to flee France, I hid the real necklace beneath a certain tree in the grounds of the chateau.
And the paste one behind the panel?
Oh, precisely. When I sent Laurent with you, it was with instructions to recover the real necklace.
Oh, but why? Oh, if all went well and our visit aroused no suspicions, we'd return to England with both the real and the paste jewels.
Correct.
Whereas, on the other hand, if anything were to go wrong, suspicion would center on Tony and myself rather than Laurent.
Correct again. And you, gentlemen, being young and men of action, would have a much better chance of escape than poor Laurent.
If you would pardon me, General, I'm only 52.
Silence, Laurent!
Yes, General.
And did Laurent, in fact, manage to find and bring back the real necklace?
Look for yourselves, gentlemen. Is it not beautiful? And was it not worth the risk?
Worth it 12 times over. Tony.
Yes, Beckney?
From now on, you take your orders from the General.
In a moment, Marius Goring returns as the Scarlet Pimpernel.
Tomorrow night, listen to Roy Rogers and his stories of the present-day West. Then on Thursday nights, hear David Harding and the Counter-Spies in another case history of their never-ending fight against our nation's enemies. For really edge-of-the-chair listening on Sundays, NBC brings you the actual story of a condemned criminal and the story behind his crime. The title, Confession, reflects the accuracy of the series, for the stories are told in the criminal's own words. Also on Sundays, Barry Craig, confidential investigator, gives us a rundown of one of his many exciting assignments And you can be sure there'll be a fair representative of the weaker sex mixed up in the plot somewhere. Remember, Sunday is Barry Craig, confidential investigator, and Confession. And tomorrow, Roy Rogers, all on NBC.
Now, Marius Goring as the Scarlet Pimpernel.
I have asked you to come here again today, gentlemen, so that I may fulfill a certain obligation.
Oh, what's that?
You will remember when I promised you that if the necklace was recovered, I would make to your League of the Scarlet Pimpernel a small donation.
Yes.
You will remember, too, that I had been offered for it by an English gentleman £100,000.
Yes, indeed.
I have to tell you that the necklace has been sold and paid for, and that I am now able to honor my promise. This small piece of paper is a draft on the Bank of England. You will accept it, please, as a small token of my gratitude?
Thank you, General. Very kind. Good Lord. Do you really mean this?
I most certainly do.
What's going on?
Look at it for yourself.
We'll be able to cheat the guillotine of a lot of victims with this. £100,000.
The Adventures of the Scarlet Pimpernel, starring Marius Goring, is presented by the National Broadcasting Company, with music composed and conducted by Sidney Torch. Produced by Harry Allen Towers.
April 29th, 1953, The Adventures of the Scarlet Pimpernel on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox.
It's a big, bold story set in the heartland of America, along the edge of Lonely Mountain. I am open for business. And so Big William Gorgon, played by handsome Michael James, fiercely set down his Midwest roots.
Oh, darling, we're going to sell bathrobes and raise chickens.
Set his adoring wife, Wilhelmina, portrayed by beautiful Glenda Olsen.
Oh, I love our store, Will.
But they hadn't counted on Big Ralph's bathrobes and cattle store coming to town.
Oh, Will, what will we do, Will?
Will had a plan, a way of facing off against tough Big Ralph. We're going to change the face of America. We're going to advertise.
For what?
With print, broadcasting, and bus benches, we're going to tell people who we are and where we are.
What's a bus?
And so the story of how one man brought advertising to the heartland.
Oh, will it work?
It will. Well, my name ain't Will, Wilhelmina. You got to advertise or we'll die. And so the greatest marketing story of all time is here. Advertise or die, dopey.
Put your message on this national advertising platform. Email classicradiotheater@gmail.com. classicradiotheater@gmail.com. Now an episode of The Couple Next Door. This was originally broadcast April 29th, 1960.
CBS Radio brings you The Couple Next Door, written by Peg-Lynch and starring Peg-Lynch and Alan Bunce.
Well, you might as well go on downtown to work. There's no sense waiting around any longer for Mrs. Tenny. Obviously, she's not coming. I've lost her right in the middle of my spring house cleaning.
Oh, now look, honey. Maybe she overslept. She's not going to let you down. She likes you.
Well, she doesn't like you.
Now listen.
And I feel a little sad saying it, but at the moment, I don't like you very much either.
Oh, sweetheart. Now, come here. Come
here. Nothing. Look at this house. Furniture piled up all over, the rugs up, the curtains down, and I'll have to scrub all the floors and woodwork downstairs here myself without any help. And I've already had my hands in water so much this burn hasn't healed on my finger.
Burn? I didn't know you'd burned yourself.
In the oven last week. One of those things you don't notice much at the time, then you have a scar for weeks.
Oh, honey, give me a hand. I'll kiss it and make it well.
It's covered up with a Band-Aid. If you would like to kiss the Band-Aid.
All right, come here. Look, I'm not going off to work anyhow and leave you here mad at me, see? I am not going to budge a step out of this house until you kiss me and forgive me and tell me you love me madly.
Well, then I guess you'll be home all day, because I don't, at the moment, love you madly at all. If you're going to be home, maybe you'd like to scrub the woodwork in the dining room.
Now, look, I cannot help it if the government demands that we report the wages of any household help.
You didn't have to say anything to Mrs. Tenny, no. Not right in the middle of my spring house cleaning.
I did,
just
too.
left
That tax return has to be in by tomorrow night. Don't you understand? Saturday, April 30th. Now, we got the tax figured out. We've got to have Mrs. Tenny's Social Security number. I don't know if she thinks the government is trying to find out her age or what's eating her, but we have to report her wages. We've got to do it, and Social Security taxes have to be paid, whether she likes the idea or not. Now, I've said that I would wait this morning. I'd wait here to explain to Mrs. Tenny the whole situation more thoroughly, and I will wait 10 more minutes.
Well, she's not coming. I've lost her. Are you still here?
Well, I'm just leaving. I can't wait any longer to speak to Mrs. Tenny.
No, I said before it was foolish to wait. She won't show up.
Yeah? Well, look, you better give me her phone number. I'll have to call her and get her Social Security number. We have to send it in that tax return either tonight or tomorrow.
Just a minute. Let me finish washing this window. I'll have to look for the number.
Look, I am sorry, darling. I mean, all this business ought to have left you holding the bag, I know. Couldn't you call an employment agency, maybe get somebody else to help?
No, I don't want someone new when I'm spring house cleaning. I'm used to Mrs. Tenny. She cleans the way I do. We work just like a team. She takes pride in her work, and she really cleans as though it were her own house. I've had some who said, oh, I never wash windows, or I charge double if I have to do woodwork. You just wonder sometimes about people.
Well, maybe you're too fussy.
I never ask anyone to do something I haven't done myself hundreds of times. No, the trouble is that doing housework is looked down upon. It's gotten a bad name. It's not glamorous, and yet millions of us housewives do it all the time, and I'm sure they would all agree with me it's the hardest job in the world. Furthermore, whether you men think so or not, it takes more intelligence and planning to do a good job of any kind of housework.
All right. For Pete's sake, I didn't say anything.
Well, I think it's time doing housework got the recognition it deserves.
Yes, I agree with you. It's just that I've got to get to the office, and you better get Mrs. Tenny's phone number and give it to me.
Hand me that towel, will you? My hands are wet.
Oh,
You may say you agree with me, dear, but I have been house cleaning all week. Dead tired when you get home, and every night you've walked in and said, boy, is the place still a mess. When are you going to be through? Now, that's all you've said, as though I were having the time of my life.
Well, I'm sorry. You're right. I didn't mean it quite that way, but
you know how it makes a wife feel? Sort of unnecessary. Apologetic. The way I feel when I have to fill out a form and it says occupation and I write housewife in little small dinky letters. As a matter of fact, what made me think of this, I didn't tell you, some time ago I was downtown. I can't think what this was about, but I had to fill out a form. And this man was asking me, and when it came to occupation, he said, just a housewife?
Oh, well, honey, I'm sure he didn't mean anything, you know.
Well, it made me so mad. Afterwards, I was embarrassed, but I fairly yelled at him. I said, just a housewife, just a housewife. Which was bad enough, but the woman standing in back of me picked it up, and she said, yes, what do you mean, sir? Just a housewife. And she started enumerating all we had to do, day after day.
Oh, boy. That poor guy. It'll be the last time he ever says that.
I'll bet it will.
How about Mrs. Tenny's phone number?
Yeah, I'm looking for it. I got a slip of paper here somewhere. She has a new number. What are you going to say to her?
Ask her for a Social Security number. Also, make it plain to her that she isn't going to be out any money. I got to thinking about that when I woke up in the middle of the night. I don't think she understood that.
Understood what? Why won't she be out any money?
She kept saying if she did continue to work for you each week, she'd take it off the kitchen if I took money off her wages for the tax. Well, frankly, I didn't quite understand what she meant.
She said she'd take off the kitchen, meant she wouldn't clean it.
I know, but it was so darn silly. You women get the craziest ideas. And that certainly didn't make any sense. And it dawned on me that maybe she didn't understand that we're paying her tax as well.
We are? Well, you never said that to me either. She doesn't know that.
Oh, sure, for Pete's sakes. I thought it was understood.
Why, no. I didn't know you'd do that, dear.
Well, why not? It's only $8 and something altogether. $4 that she's supposed to pay, and we pay an equal amount. It's certainly worth $4 every 3 months or so, isn't it, for us to keep Mrs. Tenny happy?
Yes, but I meant I didn't know you'd do it. Even to keep Mrs. Tenny, darling, I'm not sure we should do something, that isn't entirely on the up and up.
I don't know what you're talking about.
What if the tax department finds out?
Finds out what?
That we're paying Mrs. Tenny's Social Security taxes.
Well, the tax department doesn't care. What's the matter with you? Where have you been? Practically everybody does it.
Well, I know Elmer does, and Myra.
Then where did you get the idea it was illegal?
Because both of them said to me in this sort of sultry tone, of course I pay everything, all the taxes. And they said it so furtively that I wondered, but it was none of my business to say.
I think that's what I love about you, honestly.
Beautiful but dumb, huh?
No.
Well,
no.
dumb anyhow.
Well, I just bet.
Was that the back door?
Yeah.
Mrs. Tenny?
Morning, Mrs. Piper. I'm real sorry I'm late, but my husband had a flat tire. We were on the boulevard, and I couldn't get to a phone to call you. Morning, Mrs. Piper.
Oh, that's all right, Mrs. Tenny. And listen, everything's fine.
Oh, yes, Mrs. Tenny. I wondered if you understood yesterday when I spoke to you about the Social Security tax
Now,
return.
Mr. Piper, as I told you, I don't like to let Miss Piper down, but if you're going to start talking about that...
Oh,
no, Mrs. Tenny,
it's all right.
You won't be out any money.
No. You see, we're paying all the tax, Mrs. Tenny. The tax on your wages is 3% of your earnings here in the last 3 months, and it only amounts to about $4, which we will pay in addition to putting in an equal amount as your employer.
So you have nothing to worry about,
Yeah.
Mrs.
Now,
Tenny.
I start on the upstairs hall, Mrs. Piper. I haven't done any of the woodwork up there.
Yeah, well, I will have to have your Social Security number, Mrs. Penny. So
I won't be needing Social Security, Mr. Piper, and I don't care to talk about it anymore. Now, if you want me to start on the upstairs hall, Miss Piper?
Oh, yes, if you will, Mrs. Tenny. Thank you.
Take your raincoat, Mr. Piper. It looks like rain.
Oh, Mrs. Tenny.
Leave her alone. Leave her alone. Don't you dare say another word. Not another word.
You think it's possible she doesn't have a Social Security number? Where'd she used to work?
I don't know. Well, she never went out to work until about a year ago when her first husband died, and then she married this Mr. Tenny, and I guess he doesn't earn as much as her first husband
Well,
did.
look,
But
it's
don't
pretty
you
early in the morning, but I'm going to call Jack. Well, I bet lawyers get tired of handing out free legal advice.
use the phone in the kitchen so Mrs. Tenny doesn't hear you.
Yes, I understand, Jack. Yeah, I do. Thanks a lot. Goodbye.
What did he say?
Yeah.
And hurry up, because Mrs. Tenny didn't have her usual 2 cups of coffee when she arrives, and she might come back down here any minute.
Jack said it was possible that the reason Mrs. Tenny doesn't want us to report her wages is that she's not reporting it along with her husband's income on their regular income tax return. And if we report this, the tax department might find out about it.
Well, that's dishonest. And Mrs. Tenny is not dishonest. I'll tell you
It's
that right
obvious
here.
she doesn't want us to report her wages.
I
so-
don't care. Mrs. Tenny would cut off her right arm before she did. Wait a minute. You know, she's made such a fuss about her age, saying things like it'll be a long time before she's 62, and even then she won't need Social Security and all that, you know.
Oh, yes, she's
every
acting as
day.
though you and I and the government are trying to find out how
Yes,
old she is.
that's
She's
right.
worse than Aunt Effie.
You know what I think? I'll bet she is older than her new husband.
So what?
She doesn't want him to find out. Maybe it's only a year or two, even a matter of months, but you know how women are
What's
sometimes.
that got to do with reporting her
So
wages?
silly, but, well, if she doesn't have a Social Security number, as you said, it's probably because you have to give your age when you apply for one. Wouldn't you think?
Yes, as I recall, you do have to give your correct age, so when you reach the age to get Social Security benefits, they'll know.
Well, that's the point. She doesn't want the government to start sending her money when she's 62. Then her husband would know how old she is. Oh, I don't know how I thought of it. I know I'm right.
But
I
for Pete's
know
sake,
I am right.
Look, wait a minute. You don't just get Social Security when you're 62 or
Huh?
65. You have to apply for it.
You
If she
do?
doesn't apply for it when she's 62, the government isn't going to just start sending her the money.
They don't?
No.
Well, I didn't know it either. If she knew that, I'm sure everything would be fine. Okay, how are we going to tell her tactfully without letting her know, that we know
Well, I'll
that
tell you,
she
I'll leave
know-
that to you. Your feminine intuition.
Oh,
Oh, boy,
dear.
you women. Well, I better get to work. I'll see you tonight. Oh, honey, look, hurry up with your house cleaning, will you? I just hate this mess.
You get out before I throw you out.
Yeah, all right.
Goodbye, dear. I'll see you tonight.
The Couple Next Door stars Peg-Lynch and Alan Bunce.
Peg-lynch and the private lives of Ethel and Albert, along also with Alan Bunce, created a lot of the affectations that built the situation comedy. You can learn more about Peg-lynch by going to peg-lynch, LYNCH.com. That's peg-lynch.com. It's still being maintained by her daughter. And we thank you for tuning in to Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Please thank this station, support their advertisers. It is their kindness and courtesy that allows us to be with you each and every time we roll around. Now, if you miss when we roll around, you can always hear our programs through iHeartRadio, Spotify, Spreaker, TuneIn, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcast, Amazon, or even on Facebook by searching Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. That's Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. You can also contact us directly through my webpage, which is classicradio.stream. That is classicradio.stream. You can stream our shows there. You can learn more about Classic Radio Collecting, find our social media links, and you can contact me there, classicradio.stream. Have yourself a great day, won't you please? Tell all your friends the great radio shows are right here at this spot on the radio dial. Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox on your favorite radio station.